Welcome to the School of the Lost Tribes. Your charity helps generate the lessons needed to seal the chosen before the destruction. Negative attitudes toward God, a dummy's wake-up call. So you claim to believe in the Most High, Yahawah. You say you love Him, serve Him, follow Him. But let's be real. Your attitude is loud. And in the eyes of Yahawah, it speaks louder than your fringes, your Hebrew name, or your Instagram Bible quotes. Throughout Scripture, Yahawah doesn't just respond to actions, He responds to attitudes, rebellion, pride, laziness, contempt for His laws, worship without sincerity, rejection of His authority. And guess what? These attitudes aren't just bad moods, they are spiritual crimes. They have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. 1 Samuel 8:7. The Most High is keeping receipts. He saw Israel reject Him as king. He saw them despise His judgments. He heard the grumbling in the wilderness and the excuses today. So here's the deal. If you're an Israelite waking up, then wake up all the way. Your mouth can say, Yahawah, but if your heart grumbles, resists, or shrinks back, He sees it. This people honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Mark 7:6. This study will expose the rotten attitudes Yahawah hates, straight from His Word. No sugarcoating, just scriptural reality. If you want to survive the judgment, you better fix your attitude. The rejection of Yahawah, verse by verse. Isaiah 53:3. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid, as it were, our faces from Him. He was despised, and we esteemed Him not. This speaks of Yeshua, the prophesied servant of Yahawah. The very one sent to redeem Israel was rejected by His own. They refused to recognize Him, looked away, and treated Him like He was worthless. This rejection is both historical and prophetic, and still happens today when our people reject His teachings and authority. Leviticus 26:15-16. And if ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant, I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning ague, that shall consume the eyes, and cause sorrow of heart. And ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it. Rejecting Yahawah's commandments is not just emotional rebellion, it's legal breach of a covenant. The consequence is national and generational. Terror, disease, sorrow, and servitude are direct results of disobedience. Yahawah doesn't speak in riddles. He makes it clear, break my covenant, and I will break your peace. 1 Samuel 8:7. And Yahawah said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people in all that they say unto thee, for they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. Israel's desire for a human king wasn't political, it was spiritual betrayal. They wanted to be like other nations, under man instead of under Yahawah. This is how rebellion looks, replacing the Most High's rule with systems of man. That rejection still echoes today in the hearts of Israelites who trust in governments, idols, and pride over divine instruction. Ezekiel 5:6. And she hath changed my judgments into wickedness more than the nations, and my statutes more than the countries that are round about her. For they have refused my judgments and my statutes. They have not walked in them. Israel had the advantage of divine laws, but rejected them so hard, they became worse than the nations that never had the truth. This is Yahawah's grievance. My people didn't just ignore the law, they perverted it into wickedness. That is rejection on a deep, defiant level. Ezekiel 20:15-16. Yet also I lifted up my hand unto them in the wilderness, that I would not bring them into the land which I had given them, flowing with milk and honey, which is the glory of all lands, because they despised my judgments, and walked not in my statutes, but polluted my Sabbaths, for their heart went after their idols. Even after deliverance from Egypt, Israel disrespected the laws, defiled the Sabbath, and gave their hearts to idols. Yahawah responded with righteous rejection. He denied them entry into the promised land. This proves that rejection isn't just in actions, it starts in the heart. Malachi 1:11, context beginning in verse 6. For from the rising of the sun even unto the going down of the same, my name shall be great among the Gentiles, but ye have profaned it. Yahawah rebukes the priest for disrespecting his altar, bringing polluted offerings, and treating his worship like a burden. While the nations will revere his name, Israel profaned it. This isn't just neglect, it's open rejection by those who were supposed to lead in righteousness. Final warning. To the scattered. Every verse is a mirror, a historical pattern, a warning for today. These scriptures show a repeated failure among the children of Israel to honor, obey, and remain loyal to Yahawah. If you are waking up to your identity, know this: you are under a covenant. You do not have the luxury of rejecting His word, His laws, or His Messiah. Lack of faith for dummies, aka sleeping Israelites. Let's be clear, you call yourself Israel? Then faith ain't optional. Yahawah didn't choose you to walk in fear, doubt, and cowardice. But too many so-called chosen are walking around like faithless dogs, laying low, eyes half open, ears dull to instruction, spiritually asleep. Let's go to the record. Mark 4:40. And he said unto them, Why are ye so fearful? How is it that ye have no faith? Yeshua rebuked his disciples right after saving them from a deadly storm. He didn't hand them tissues. He called them out. How is it that you have no faith? Translation: You've seen me move, heard my words, watched the miracles, and still you're scared like the nations. Wake up, sleeping dogs. Matthew 8:26. And he saith unto them, Why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith? Then he arose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. Same story, different telling. Notice this: Yeshua didn't rebuke the storm first, he rebuked them. The storm wasn't the real threat. Their faithlessness was. If Yahawah controls the sea and wind, but you don't trust him, then you're the liability, not the storm. Luke 8:25. And he said unto them, Where is your faith? He didn't say good effort. He didn't say it's okay to be afraid. He said, Where is it? Meaning it's missing, gone, absent. Too many Israelites today are storm-tossed in their lives, jobs, health, bills, relationships, and every time they panic, Yeshua's voice echoes, Where is your faith? Matthew 13:58. And he did not many mighty works there because of their unbelief. Yeshua's power was present, but the people's unbelief blocked the miracles. Lack of faith is like putting Yahawah on mute. Don't expect mighty results if you carry a mighty spirit of doubt. Mark 6:6. And he marveled because of their unbelief. Imagine that. Yeshua was surprised by how little faith his own people had. Not because they didn't know Scripture, but because their hearts were full of doubt, not devotion. Final word to the sleeping dogs. Israel, you weren't chosen to be cowards. You were chosen to walk by faith, even through fire. But if you keep letting doubt rule you, don't be shocked when Yahawah doesn't move in your life. He's not limited, you are, by your fear, by your lack of faith, by your refusal to trust him even when you see the storm. Without faith, it is impossible to please him. Hebrews 11:6. So stop sleeping, stop barking but never biting. Wake up, believe, and move like the chosen, the foolish and blind Israelites who refused to listen. There was a people chosen from among the nations, set apart, loved, guided with signs, and delivered with power. Their feet once walked through seas split in half, and their enemies drowned behind them. Yet when the storm rose again, they trembled like children who had never seen deliverance before. Why are you afraid? Their Redeemer asked them. Where is your faith? They called themselves believers, but every hardship stripped them of trust. And even when the winds obeyed his voice, their hearts remained unsure. He came among them, walking, healing, teaching with authority. Yet in his own house, among his own kin, he could do few mighty works, not because he lacked power, but because their belief was buried under unbelief. He was amazed, not at their faith, but at how deeply they refused to have it. Still, they were warned. Do not let your heart grow proud. But their hearts lifted anyway. When their barns were full, they forgot who filled them. They claimed strength that was not theirs. And so, their pride was broken, their lofty looks shattered. In the silence of the sanctuary, their voices mocked the altar. They brought offerings stained and polluted, as if the Most High should be honored with leftovers. But the proud were scattered like dust. The humble received favor, the arrogant were brought low. Their ancestors were stiff-necked, and so were they. Hard-headed and hard-hearted, they carried the same blood and the same rebellion. Warnings did not move them. Miracles did not convince them. Even correction grieved them, but did not change them. Their stubbornness stacked like stones until it became a wall between them and their Creator, and every act of resistance carved a deeper chasm. Still, they stood unmoved, as if wrath was something they could endure. The Most High looked upon his people and said, "They have turned away. They would not listen. They reject my hand. They rebel against my voice." He had brought them out of bondage, taught them through prophets, pleaded with them through judgments, and still they resisted. Even when their enemies surrounded them, even when the land cried out, even when their children suffered, they returned not to him, but to lies and idols. Though he redeemed them, they forgot him. Though he warned them, they tested him. In the end, their rebellion was not hidden. It was open, it was generational, and it grieved him over and over again. You can't serve me like that, for lukewarm Israelites still in love with Edom. Let's make this real clear. You can't serve me if you're lukewarm. You think I'm going to accept half-hearted obedience? You think I'll bless you while you cling to the people who enslaved you? You dress like you woke up to the truth, but your spirit still snuggled up with Edom. You go to camp on Sabbath, then hang with your oppressor's kids on Sunday. You talk about Jacob and Esau, but make babies with Esau. You post Hebrew memes, but married into the nation that shackled your ancestors. So tell me, how will you see evil when you're sleeping with it? You're not set apart. You're not holy. You're not ready. Because when judgment hits, it won't stop to ask if you wore fringes. It'll ask, were you obedient? Were you separate? Were you loyal? Hate the evil and love the good, and establish judgment in the gate. It may be that Yahawah, the God of hosts, will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph. Amos 5:15. This is about more than emotions. This is about choosing sides. You're either on the side of righteousness, or you're deep in the arms of Babylon pretending it's love. And no, your Edomite wife, husband, friend, pastor, godparent is not the exception. The curse didn't break because you caught feelings. So here's the blunt truth, for all you lukewarm Israelites still hugging your captors. You can't love the oppressor and serve the oppressed at the same time. Choose now, before the fire falls.